Next.
According to the website Den of Geek, a secret screening of the upcoming Batman vs. Superman took place at Warner Brothers for the WB executives as well as some crew of the film. According to the report, the screening earned a standing ovation from the group, leading WB execs to proclaim Ben Affleck as the definitive Batman. The report also claims that the overwhelmingly positive reception also pulled the trigger on an alleged 3-picture Batman deal for Ben Affleck to both star in and direct. Mark, if this report is accurate, what are your thoughts to the Warner Brothers reaction to Batman vs. Superman?
I'm glad the family likes their own movie, but at the same time, when I was in 3rd grade, me and my brother and sister made a movie called The Legend of Dark Cove. It got a standing ovation in my house because we were the ones that made the movie. So it doesn't, now I'm not all going to suddenly say like, oh, this is going to be the greatest movie ever. It's a positive thing if this screening did indeed take place and people are that excited. I love hearing that kind of news, but I can't get overly excited about it. Even the best part of this news, if it's true, is that they decided to greenlight all of these Batman movies right after seeing it, because that means that Batman is so compelling in this new version where he is older and he's grittier and he's coming out of retirement to fight Superman. And then where does he go from there? So all of that stuff is positive. I don't know if I believe it. And even if I do believe it, again, this is just Warner Brothers. This is just the Looney Tunes hanging out watching their own movie as opposed to audiences and hardcore fans of the comic series. So it's cool. I'm not going to get too excited though.
Yeah, I mean, the whole notion that Warner Brothers is giving a Warner Brothers movie a standing ovation. I mean, that's like, I have a book coming out later this year, but for those who didn't know. And it's like me saying, you know, hey, John Campea said his book is like Harry Potter had sex with the Hunger Games and had like an Uber child book, and it's the greatest thing ever. It really wouldn't carry much weight at all, nor should it. Now, I don't want to get too carried away about this for a couple of reasons. Number one, let's remember that about 4 or 5 months before Man of Steel came out, we covered the exact same story. Warner Brothers had a screening of Man of Steel, standing ovation. Everybody says this is going to revolutionize filmmaking. Yay! And now, while I think Man of Steel is a brilliant freaking film, it didn't hit home with everybody. A lot of people didn't like it, despite the fact that Warner Brothers was cheering on their own movie. The other reason I'm not going to get too carried away with this is because I spoke to somebody who's a contact of mine at Warner Brothers, and they deny that this screening happened. Now, they just may not have known about it. They may not have been invited to it. Warner Brothers is a big company, so that doesn't necessarily mean. But let's go on the assumption that it is true. If it is true, okay, well, it's better than hearing Warner Brothers saw the screening, felt really concerned, scheduled 4 months of new reshoots. I mean, you don't want to hear that either. So this is a positive thing. And as far as I'm saying, Ben is the definitive Batman, I mean, you know, I've been on the Ben Affleck bandwagon since the day they announced him. I remember me and Schnepp made a video the day they announced it, and I'm pretty sure Schnepp and I were the only 2 people on the interwebs that were saying this is a brilliant, good casting, because everybody else was saying the sky was falling. So I hope this is true, and he does end up being the definitive Batman. We will have to wait and see. Anyway, Adrian, you heard this news. What do you make of it?
Well, I want to preface by saying that we had a screening for Hitman Agent 47 last Tuesday, and I was one of the 3 people in it, and we all stood up at the end and gave it a standing ovation.
You heard it here, Hitman Agent 47.
Why didn't you cover that? They got a standing ovation from 3 people.
That's going to be a new...
The only 3 people in this screening. Look, there's some stuff about Batman, Superman I want to get off my chest. The trailer at Comic-Con is the greatest trailer I've seen in the last 10, 15 years.
Yes, sir.
By far. Ben Affleck is going to be the Batman for generations to come. I love Man of Steel. I had problems with the ending, but I love that movie. I think Zack Snyder teamed up with Affleck and Chris Terrio. This movie is going to, I think, redefine the superhero genre for years to come. Whether they give it a standing ovation or not, I'm sure it's worthy of it, but I don't read too much into that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I don't get too excited because I'm already excited for this movie. I think the DC Universe is going to be launched in a very proper way, finally, and it's about freaking time.